My first guest today is Ryan O'Rourke. He's a former standout amateur boxer. He represented Ireland on the international scene. He's won many box cups and has had some really, really stellar performances in the green vest for Ireland. He turned over professional at back end of 2019 and he's been a man on a mission for the first quarter of 2020. He's turned 3-0 in the first little under 3 months. He's been busy and he joined me to talk about the highs, the lows, the dreams and what lies ahead for Ryan O'Rourke.
Even like boxers got life be in camp, go gym, go home, that's it.
Yeah,
literally eat, sleep, gym. So that's like, you're just taking the gym away from it. So if you can exercise another way, that's kind of just the normal life then.
Yeah, and then you're kind of rest, analyse stuff, you're thinking, you're used to the solitary side of it as well. So it's, look, we're social animals, but I have to be honest with you, I'm always been comfortable with my own company, so...
Same with myself.
Now, there is days where you feel yourself getting a little bit... but how are you keeping anyway? You're in a hurry, aren't you? Fucking three fights in 3 months and you're blazing the trail.
Yeah, under 3 months, like two and a half months, my dad got 3 fights in, so I was like blown through the first few fights, trying to get in as many as possible. That's what I wanted to do in the first year. I was literally just get as many fights as possible, just to build a record, and I was on track to do that.
In fairness, Ryan, it comes on the back of a steady, successful amateur background. Do you want to go a little bit into that? Anyone that's not aware, Steve Rourke is Ryan's dad. He's running a tremendously successful and growing stable there in Inchicore.
Yeah, obviously, my dad's my coach, so I started at a very young age, boxing. I'd go to the gym when I was young, train, and I had probably my first fight when I was about 9. Then I had a good few fights through the amateurs, through the Dublins and the leagues and all that. And then when I got to about 17, I'd stopped boxing for about 18 months. And then I kind of got back into it, went full time then, like Ara. And I kind of semi-successful in the amateur career. I wasn't usually like great, but I thought I did alright. Won a few box cups and that's about it. And then the goal was to always turn professional. It was never really go to the Olympics, have a big amateur like career. It was always to be a professional boxer. As a kid, my goal was always to be a professional boxer. Started in St. Catherine's and then went to Crumlin and Cabra, and then my dad opened up St. Micheals. You
switched over the back end of last year, is that right?
Yeah, I announced it literally on the 1st of January this year, and then I had my first fight on the 30th.
Now, Sean McComb said something to me there a little while ago when I was chatting to him, and he's taken his amateur mindset and work ethic into the pro game, where his belief is that, look, take a couple of days off after the fight, but this thing of months off, and the McKenna said the same to me, this thing taking months off at a time, it just takes too long. So he's a believer of getting back in the ring, getting back in the gym, training, and getting as many under your belt. You were 3-0 after, we'll say, under 3 months.
Yeah.
Even with this thing the way it is, we could look at the end of 2020 with you sitting at around all things going well, at least 6 or 7-0.
Yeah, that was the plan. Like same as myself. Like same, take the amateur mindset into it. Like when you're starting off your career, you don't want to really be taking 2 and 3 months out of the ring. Cause only doing 4 rounds. Like you fight sometimes in a box club, you'd fight 3 fights in 3 days. Like that's 3 rounds, only a round less. So when you think like doing a 4 round and then taking 2 months off or 3 months off, like I don't see the point. So I really just had a fight, took the rest of I fought on a Saturday, I take the rest of the weekend off, maybe the Monday and the Tuesday, and then again the Wednesday back in the gym, training for my next fight, which would be 3 weeks away. And the same as that just went on for the first 3 fights.
You've made the walk dozens and dozens of times as an amateur with the vest.
Yeah.
You've made the walk under different coaches. It's a different animal now. There's a side of this game that's a whole lot more rewarding, a whole lot more capable of filling your pockets. But there's also a whole other side of the business side of it that not many want to see or care to see. You're lucky enough to have someone looking after that for you as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't really delve into that side of it, so I'm kind of lucky somebody takes care of that for me, but it can get ugly on that side. Like, it can take up a lot of time, it can stop you from fighting, it can do a lot of stuff if you don't manage it correctly. Like, so you don't want to be. I don't like to go into that side. I just like to stick to the boxing, think of a fight, and that's it. Like, I don't want to be on that side. I just want to think boxing, fight, train. That's it.
When it comes to preparation, again, there's so many different types, there's so many different styles. Every single fighter you'll meet on this planet will have a different. They might have a few same traits or a few same. For Ryan Rourke, what is it with you now? I know you're probably still adapting to this pro game. What would have been the main things that you're noticing at the moment that you have to work on to adapt into this professional boxing?
Kind of the obvious stuff, really. Just slowing the pace down for a longer round. You don't want to be going 100 miles a minute. You kind of have time. You have more time in the ring, I feel, just to relax, and take your shots, and sit down and really think about what you're gonna do. Not just go, right, I'm in here. I need to throw as many punches as I can in the 3 minutes.
I think it's fair to say professional boxing is more for the style. It's more about it's more for the flair and the creative. Whereas in the amateur, it's you really have to just focus on certain points, certain parts, and you have to perfect them.
Yeah, like. You can have a bit more, amateur boxing is about like sportsmanship and stuff, and then you go into the pros and you'll see like very out there characters, and they have like a lot of flair about them and stuff like that. It's a lot more in the pro game. Wouldn't really get that in the amateurs. It's a lot more about entertainment and stuff, and that side of it as well. Like high score, like not just throw as many shots and try to land as many as you can. Like, it's really scoring shots. Come when you get around, like Mayweather probably won a lot of his career on 5 or 6 good quality scoring shots. Like, won him around for a lot of his career.
There's a lot of people you'll hear going around saying hit and not get hit, and to me, that's like saying swim and not get wet. And I know that sounds like another cliche, but to me, when I say boxing, it's hit and not get hurt, because you can't really, if you're a boxer,
you can't not get hit. You're gonna get hit eventually.
You really are, and hit and not get hurt too often, because again, you're going to get hurt.
You're gonna get hurt.
And it's building all those things and taking those levels up from the fights that you're going to earn now in these early days. Is the style, Ryan, something that you're conscious of? Is it something that you're trying to adapt? Is it something that you're trying to develop, or is that you're just happy to let that be natural?
I felt like I've always had a pro-am style. I've never really been a fully fledged amateur on my toes bouncing around. I've always liked to sit down anyway. Like, I've always had a pro style about me, so it hasn't been too hard to kind of switch over. So it's been alright for me, but I know for some people it can be kind of a bit more difficult. But I felt, personally for me, it hasn't been too difficult.
There's so many double-edged swords. You spend too long in the amateur game, in the amateur ranks and boxing at elite, it can just become, you just really can't. And the best example of this, and I mean this from all due respect, is to Michael Conlan. Mick was probably one of the best, John Evans, some of the greatest amateurs we've ever had. Yeah. And it's taken them such a long time to shake off those amateur traits. And now they're in full flight now, and the sky is the limit. But it must be exciting, Ryan, if we're being honest about it, when you get through talking about boxing and you're a professional athlete. It's what everybody, I suppose, if we're being honest, every young man, every young boy dreams, whether it's kicking a ball, driving a race car, something. We want to be professional athletes. Has that kind of hit home yet as well?
I don't think so. No, I've kind of really I've had not really time to think about it. It's been like I finished the amateur boxing career in November, and then in January I'm a professional athlete. So I kind of haven't really had time to sit down and think about it. Just straight back into it, like just boxing really. I don't really look at it amateur or pro. I just look at it as boxing. Was that always the goal? 2020 being the target? Yeah, I feel like 20 is the right age for me to turn over. Kind of like at 18, 19, I wasn't as developed as I am now. And as I said, I've never really wanted to go far as an amateur. I've always wanted to turn professional. So the second I felt I was ready to do that, I just switched straight over and started. If
I look at your stablemates and from your dad down, there's so many similar traits. You're great guys, like you're stand-up fellas. You'll look you in the eye, you'll stand there, you'll talk to you. They'll tell you what's what. They're not shy in coming forward. Like from Tony, Vic, Roy, whether it's Christina before that was there and your dad as well. More than willing to have the crack. I can just imagine when he cracks the whip or blows the whistle or whatever it is he does, or both. No one has to be told twice, I'd say.
No, that's it. It's a good balance in the gym of knowing when you can have fun, when you have to work. Like, I think that's my dad's installed that in the gym. Like, it's you want to go training, but you know when you go training you're gonna have to work hard and really put the effort in.
I love the moniker Silent Assassin because there's many assassins out there, there's many hitmen out there, there's many. Tell me if I'm right on this or not. The Silent Assassin almost sits with the Silent Jim. There's no one really talks a whole lot. They just go out and they do what they do and they stand on the record. And I think you can look at that through the lads all the way down, whether they've boxed Tony in international. Phenomenal fella. I love, me and him could listen to music all day long and the next day as well. I just love his taste. Vic is the same, but you don't talk a whole lot.
No, there's not a lot of, like, as you say, trash talkers in the gym. Everybody kind of just knows what you have to do, go out and do it, like do the talking with their hands instead of with their mouth. Like.
Tell me this, I know there's Manchester connections as well. I was chatting to Kieran Farrell the other night and your dad and everything else. When we talk about music and preferences and all that, so please tell me you have a few Manchester-based bands that you love, do you?
Oh, obviously Oasis, a little bit of Oasis, yeah. I have a few of them, a few of their songs in my playlist.
The Roses and the likes of them, yeah, that's the home really of real good music, isn't it? Britpop.
Yeah.
Looking at the welterweight division from an Irish point of view, let's just keep all let's keep the rest of the world out of it for the time being. It's stacked, full of Irish boxers at the moment. On a domestic level, you could have the likes of Sen and Kelly, Aaron Gettins. I think Keane McMahon still at welter as well.
I think so. He might be going up.
Rowan Date and the likes of that. Then you're looking at Dylan Moore and you're looking at Johnny Joyce. You're looking at Lee Reeves, people like that. How do you see? Or I suppose let's say the next few months and years planning out for Ryan O'Rourke?
I don't know if I'm going to stay at welter. I might be going down to light welter and see how that fares. But yeah, there is some very good boxers in the lightweight and light welter and welter division. But I'm just looking now to build my record up, get 6s and 8s in, and then after I get probably 2 and 6, 8, 2 6s and 2 8s. Then start going for looking for titles, but as of now, I'm just still building my record. I'm only 3-0, like.
Yeah, 3-0, and even if we did go to light, I mean, if I'm off the top of my head, I'm thinking Tyrone McKenna, Sean McComb, Ray Moyle. There's a few tasty ones down there too.
Yeah, that's a packed division.
It is, and you know what it is? I believe, and I had this conversation with the G-Train. Shout out to Graham McCormick there. I had it with him yesterday. I believe, and this is maybe the optimist in me, but I believe when all this new normal switches back to the brand new normal, I think boxing and sport are going to be what kickstarts this country, and I think it could be a clean slate. And there's so much talent in this game for Irish fighters just to be testing themselves against each other. Well, phenomenal weight divisions, and particularly all the way up to middleweight and probably super middleweight as well.
Yeah, there's so much talent in Ireland, and kind of we're all only getting started. So I'd say in the next 2 to 3 years, you'll really see Irish boxing like on the world stage kick off. People start to win world titles and that.
Yeah. So
it would be great.
I think, and I've said this before, I think we need a barn burner. We need an international Tree Arena or Lansdowne or something like that. Whether it's Dennis Hogan and Spike, whoever the case may be, and fill the undercard under that, where you'll bring the international eyes of the world into it. You'll bring the promoters, you'll bring the money. And that, I think, is what will catapult it, and that's what will be the catalyst to start the shows off around, because it's not going to take a whole lot. The talent is there, the will is there, the love is there, and the support for you lads. I mean, what's it like, Ryan? The last thing I said to you, what's the support been like and the goodwill?
The support has been good, but it's kind of been difficult to get people across, because every single one of these fights have been across the water in England, so I haven't fully yet experienced like a home crowd for myself. I'm still waiting to do that. I can't wait to fight in Ireland, because my first 3 fights have all been in England. So I haven't fully experienced that yet, but I can't wait to experience it. Well,
tell us, where can people get in touch with you, Ryan, and how can they reach out to you? Where will they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Ryan O'Rourke 99 and Twitter on Ryan __99.
And keep an eye out for Ryan O'Rourke over the coming months and watch him grow, because he's a great guy. He's a great talent. Look him up on social media. Check out his stablemates. You're going to see and hear from quite a few of them over the next coming episodes on Ends Well Boxing.